Some important news. We've got the Democratic Senator from Connecticut and Chairman of the Senate Banking Committee, a man who made my life and Mike Barnickel's life a little bit easier because Andrew Scarborough and Julia Barnicle will no longer be getting credit cards from credit card companies.
And my
Let's bring in Senator Chris Dodd. Senator, we've got a lot to talk about, but I want to start with this credit card deal. It seems like a great idea. What happened?
Well, it passed 90-5 yesterday, and about as strong a vote as you can imagine. The Consumer Federation of America called it landmark legislation. It's been 20 years in the making. I offered this idea about 20 years ago and got less than, I think, 30 votes or 32 votes for it. And obviously a lot of factors have played in the change of heart on this, but clearly the industry itself created as much of momentum when you have 70 million accounts in one 11-month period that had interest rates raised, 1 out of 4 families. When you have virtually predatory lending going on to underage children who have no incomes, no assets, no jobs, penalties and fees totally disproportionate to the failure of the consumer, as we saw in several cases.
Well, Senator, so break it down for me. I get a credit card in my home. Does this now mean that if it says on the front page I've got a 7% interest fixed on my credit card, that I don't have to rifle through 30 pages to see where they're going to screw me later on? No,
I'd still go through it because you need a microscope, first of all, and probably a law degree to figure it out. I can't guarantee there's not going to try and obfuscate. That's been the rule over the sort of tripwires that draw consumers in with teaser rates or other conditions here that you've got to sort out. Even the line after, it used to be 25 years ago, the contract was 1 page long. And now it's been 30 pages long, and usually the last line is, and by the way, having read all of this, at the end of the day, we can change the rates and fees and penalties at any time for any reason. So I still, there's no prohibition about that, except you now get protections of 45 days before those changes can be made. You got 21 days to report, to pay the balances that you may owe or the minimum balances. You can't have teaser rates that only change within weeks of getting the card. It got to last for 6 months. So there are a lot of provisions in here to provide protections for consumers that never existed before.
You know, Senator, it's been widely